Okay, so we need to catch up on Mikayla Nogueira because in the last week alone, there have been multiple developments, and the way they're all landing at the same time is genuinely a lot. We've got her revisiting Lash Gate in the most confusing way possible, a new product launch that has some people raising their eyebrows, and then on top of all of that, she announced her divorce from Cody. There is a lot to get through, so let's just start from the beginning. A few days ago, we talked about Mikayla posting that video where she basically said she had lost herself to influencing.
But in the last 6 years, I feel that I have completely lost myself.
That she had become someone she never wanted to be, and that things were going to start changing. That video was a whole moment. People were emotional about it, people were skeptical about it, and honestly, both reactions made sense depending on how long you've been following her. But since that video went up, the news just kept coming. So let's start with Lash Gate, because this week marked almost exactly 3 years since that whole thing happened. And if you somehow don't know the story, back in 2022, Mikayla posted a sponsored video for L'Oreal mascara, and people immediately noticed that her lashes looked dramatically fuller than what the product could realistically deliver. The accusation was that she was wearing false lashes in a mascara ad. L'Oreal pulled the video. Mikayla never directly confirmed or denied wearing falsies. She stayed quiet, weathered the storm, and kind of leaned into being the canceled influencer persona, which honestly worked for her for a while. Her fans stuck around, brands kept working with her, and it became a bit of a running joke in the beauty community. The reason it's back in the conversation right now is because last year, L'Oreal actually brought her back to be the face of a new mascara campaign. And when that was announced, people were furious with the brand. The whole argument was, this woman used false advertising to sell your product, and your response is to rehire her for another mascara? It felt like a reward for bad behavior. But from a pure marketing standpoint, you can absolutely see why L'Oreal did it. The original Lash Gate video caused a massive spike in product sales, because everyone was buying it to test whether it could actually deliver those results. Controversy moves product, and L'Oreal knows that better than anyone. This week, Mikayla posted a TikTok from that campaign shoot, and the caption was, POV. You got canceled for Mascara Gate, and now you're the face of a L'Oreal mascara? And the comments went off. Someone asked, didn't you just tell us you'd stop selling us things, but with false lashes, right? Basically asking if she was wearing falsies in the new ad too. And Mikayla just replied, no. L'Oreal's official account commented, you did that. Then someone else wrote, but she did have falsies on though. How you've changed. Probably not the best idea to stir that up again. And Mikayla replied to that one with, it's part of my story. And I think that reply says everything without actually saying anything. It's part of my story is not a denial. It's not an apology. It's not a defense. It's just a reframe. She's positioning Lash Gate as a chapter in her narrative rather than a mistake she made. Which, look, influencers have built entire careers on recovering from controversies. So I'm not saying that's an illegitimate move. But when you come out 3 days prior and say, I've lost myself, and I've been doing things I'm not proud of, and then your very next move is a TikTok that treats Lash Gate like a fun little throwback moment, people are going to clock that inconsistency. And they did. The comments were not gentle. People kept pointing out that this felt like the opposite of the reset she'd promised. And L'Oreal playing along with it, they actually put a little false lash emoji graphic over her picture in one post. Just added fuel. The brand made a lot of money off that original controversy, and they clearly have zero interest in pretending it didn't happen. They're monetizing it, which is their right, but it does make the whole thing feel a bit cynical. Now, here's where the timing gets a little awkward. In the same stretch of time after her Things Are Changing video, Mikayla also announced that she's releasing a fragrance. It's reportedly a brand collaboration, not something under her own POV brand, which is fine.
I created my dream fragrance.
Influencer fragrance collabs happen constantly, and apparently this has been a dream of hers for a long time. So good for her on that front. But you have to understand how this is landing to someone who watched that I Lost Myself video and took it seriously. Within about a week, we've had a steady stream of ads, a campaign that makes a joke out of the biggest trust issue in her career, and now a product launch. One person in the comments put it pretty bluntly. She probably should have gotten all of that out of the way before posting that speech. And that's fair. Not because any of these things are inherently wrong. Brands have obligations. Campaigns are shot months in advance. Product launches have their own timelines. But the optics of the sequencing are rough, and Mikayla is someone who's been around long enough to know how her audience reads optics. But honestly, all of that got a little quieter when she announced the divorce.
I am getting a divorce. Take a minute. Take it in. I am getting a divorce.
So last year, Mikayla had opened up about Cody struggling with addiction. She said it got to a point where she had to ask him to leave so he could get the help he needed. He went to rehab, came back, and they seemed to be rebuilding. They bought a new house together, showed it off online, and everything looked okay. For a while, it really did seem like they had come through the hardest part together. But over the last several months, fans started noticing things. Mikayla wasn't wearing her wedding ring as often, and that ring has its own story, because Cody had sold his truck to buy her original ring, and the replacement ring she's been wearing since came through a sponsorship. So fans were already paying attention to it. Then, Mikayla posted a photo with Cody at Christmas, and when people zoomed in, it looked like her ring had been edited out of the image. And then, the very next day, she posted something saying she was ending the year the same way she started it. And most people reading between the lines took that as things not being great between them. This week, she confirmed it. She and Cody are divorcing. In her announcement, she said they made the decision together, that they're still friends, that they see each other regularly, and that she just wants him to be happy as they both heal.
We love each other so much. We would do literally anything for each other. I want you to know that. I'm not going to be sharing any details whatsoever as to why Cody and I have made this decision. The main reason I am doing that is because I want to protect Cody. Cody deserves that. We both want to heal. Cody deserves to be happy. Cody deserves to be happy. So do I. This is an extremely shitty thing. No one gets married to get a divorce. Absolutely no one.
She also made a point of saying that only she and Cody know the real reason this is happening. So any theories out there are just that, theories. And I'm going to take her at her word on that and not speculate.
We talk every day. He comes over for dinner. He sees the dogs. Cody and I were together for 5 years, married for 2. And they are some of the best memories of my life. Memories that I will cherish forever. And I do not regret a single thing, nor does Cody. I know there is going to be so much speculation as to why Cody and I are getting a divorce. But I want to guarantee you that no amount of speculation, no one claiming they know why we're getting a divorce, no video from a T page or a drama channel knows why Cody and I made this decision. The only people that know why Cody and I made this decision is Cody and I.
Because at the end of the day, a divorce is genuinely hard regardless of who you are or how many followers you have. What I will say is that one thing struck me as a little strange. If they've been separated for several months, which the ring situation and the Christmas photo suggest, she was still engaging with fan comments during that time that seemed to assume everything was fine between them. She was responding to things, being playful about it, and none of that hinted at what was apparently already happening behind the scenes. It's not a criticism exactly, because people deal with private things privately, but it does create this odd gap between what was being projected and what was actually going on.
Well, the reason I'm pretty put together in this video is because we made this decision last year. And I've spent the last few months processing this, a lot of crying, a lot of talking to family, friends, therapy, everything you can think of, to get to a place where I can make this video.
Jaclyn Hill was one of the first people to comment publicly with support, writing, "I'm so sorry, Mikayla. I know how much you love him. I wish nothing but health and happiness for you both." Which is a genuinely kind thing to say. Other people in the comments were less kind. There were jokes, there was speculation, there were people who said they saw it coming months ago. Mikayla ended up turning off comments on her videos after the announcement, which, honestly, you can't blame her for. Looking back now, that "I lost myself" video lands differently. At the time, it felt like a content creator reckoning with her relationship to her platform. Knowing what was going on in her personal life when she filmed it, it's a little harder not to wonder how much of what she was feeling was tied up in everything happening at home.
Okay, I have an embarrassing confession. And if you're my grandma or my mom, and I know you watch my videos, if you could just scroll on this one, that would be great. I have never been eaten out.
That's all speculation, but it does make the video feel like it came from a more real place than some people initially gave it credit for. There's a lot swirling around Mikayla right now, and she's clearly navigating several things at once. Whether the pivot she promised is actually coming remains to be seen. The last week didn't exactly look like a pivot, but hopefully whatever she's going through personally leads her somewhere better. Nobody wins when someone's falling apart. Let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments. Do you think the Lash Gate TikTok was a mistake? What did you make of the divorce announcement? I want to hear all your thoughts. I'll see you next time!